Hi friends, welcome back. So in this topic actually today we'll be discussing about the objects and in PowerShell and to start with actually before we start, hope you have enjoyed the previous videos and also you have done the enough practice by your own way, and hope it was helpful, and we can actually continue with the next topic here, which is objects. So in PowerShell, we would say everything is actually based on it's a object oriented, we can say. And why? Because there are many commands and commandlets, whatever, so which is already built or it is already done or created by somebody else, maybe Microsoft, or maybe anyone else who is actually an expert in PowerShell, and so you will come to know in future classes like module and everything, so you'll get to know in future. So currently let us say the object is nothing but it is an object oriented, so everything in PowerShell is actually object oriented. So we need to actually think and also view from that perspective, and then start learning actually the further commands and also the features in PowerShell. And to start with, now let's take an example so to see what exactly the difference between the normal the command in the command prompt which we are using, and also the commands or equivalent commands in PowerShell. So now let's try the normal command which you are already aware, like ipconfig. So when we do, we will get this particular IP address details. This is a simple command, actually Windows command. It is not a PowerShell command. But as I mentioned in the initial classes, like the PowerShell command in PowerShell prompt, we can also use some of the Windows commands as well, which is actually some of them are actually the same commands. We can use it here. And in this case, the next requirement, for example, now I would like to list only the IP version 4 or maybe the subnet mask or anything, only one of the information here. So let's say we have learned the pipe in the previous video. So I'm using pipe here, and then there is a command called find. So just a single find, and I'm just mentioning for example IP version 4 address. I'm just copying it and pasting it here, and enter. So you will get the result as this much. So this is perfectly what I need. So I am using ipconfig, and from that I'm just filtering out only the IP version 4 address and listing out the details. So for example, now let's say I need actually also the subnet mask. So I am just trying actually same way, and comma subnet mask, and you can say the details here, subnet mask is not found. And let's try some alternate method this way. Let's see whether something is returning. No. So this is actually the limitation, and this is a maximum we can use actually the normal ipconfig command which we borrowed from the Windows command. So let's say we have the equivalent command actually or the commandlet. So let's say the next equivalent command for ipconfig is nothing but get net IP address. So I think it is not the address, it is IP configuration. Yeah, so let's see what is the result we are getting for that. So this is listing out the similar the IP config command. So this is an equivalent command where we can see the same details where it is listing here, and I would like to filter out actually in this again. I can do the format table option here, right? And also I can mention IP version 4 address. So I can take this, copy paste, and I would say like the interface details I can take it. So here now in this case, and also I can take a DNS server address or whatever I need, actually multiple things I can actually filter out from here, and it will list out only that much. So in this case, so here you can see the details, and this is how we can actually filter the equivalent command. So what I would like to say is that so this is the equivalent command, which is somebody already written the commands actually, and which is already present and which we are using it. So that is the main difference actually about objects. So now let's look at actually the another example. So I'm just opening command prompt here, so just for actually showing you what is the difference. So in the command prompt, if you go to the cd/temp and then put a dir. So this is the command which is for listing out the files and directories in the particular path where we are actually standing. And similarly, if you come to the PowerShell, we would say it is actually the get child item from C. And if I am actually cd/temp and I'm just putting get child item, so you can see actually the result we are getting actually same, and here also it's the same. So similar information we are getting. Only difference is that some extra information is available here, so that is fine. So the additional thing what we are trying to do now, get child item minus from any path, actually we can do this minus path, and we can say c/temp and select object. So we have learned about this the select object in the previous video, so please refer the same. And here we can say name and mode, whatever we would like to see. And this is how we can actually the details we can format it based on the requirement, but this is not available or this is not possible in the normal command prompt. So that is the reason I just opened here, and just would like to compare and show you the details. So I'm just closing that, it not needed. And the next topic actually not next topic, but the next portion we are talking about now. In the command prompt we have seen the limited number of options available there, and which we can format it. And when you see here, actually the default output we are getting with this many information. So the previous classes we have learned where we can use get child item and get member. So this is how actually we can please don't forget about this particular command, which is very important. We have already discussed that, and this is the important one where we can see what and all actually the the information we can fetch. So this is the property details and all member details we can see here. So any one of them we can use it actually and list out. So when we talk about the objects and attributes, so this topic is little bit confusing, and please watch it carefully. And in case if any doubts or any questions, please put it into the comment so that we can clarify on that. So but it is actually very much useful and also a little bit confusing while we are learning. So please actually just focus on the same. So let's start actually on the attributes and the objects first. So always an object is actually something like it is is in green, so which is like a true or false, or maybe a date or something like that. So the attribute actually will show you what exactly that object is. And so now let's start with the command get volume So this will actually list out the hard drive and the drive details here, and there are few information in this drive, in this system, only C drive and the recovery drive and also the temporary one. So this is the overall summary of the volume. And you know how to get the the member the property details from this. And so now let's say get member and minus member type is properties. So now if you see here, there are many other properties are actually available, and you will be able to list out anything using which in the using the select object here. So let's say select object, and you can list out the properties. So I'm just saying drive letter and size, and then maybe size remaining. So you can see here using the select object which we have learned in the previous video. So this is how we can actually list out the properties, the required properties from using the get member command, and you can get the property details and you can just list out this. So here you can see the details also, what is the member type, and also the name and details, everything. So in this case, all the whatever the get member is actually displaying here is actually the it is the attributes. So this is nothing but the properties, and also the attributes and are actually similar, and you can use anything actually based on the requirement, and accordingly you can put into the command. And one sample in case just for I just actually tested here, and since I don't have the other machine is running now, I'm just not entering this, but because it will fail, because this get AD command is not available in this computer. So as you can see, the get AD computer and the filter, and we will talk about filter and everything in the next video, how we can do that. And so this way if you do, and this is actually very useful, and for an IT administrator or Active Directory administrator, which you can selected operating system from Active Directory, you can filter out, and you can save into a text file, or maybe whatever the file, you can use it actually as a export CSV, and you can use this command. So all these things are actually possible because of the attributes and also the properties what we are having for each commands. So just remember again that the get member is very much important to get to know the attributes and the properties what each commands are actually having. And we have already covered actually about the select object also, which we know already from the last video. And the last one we are talking about the methods and what an object can do using the method. So it is very simple actually. So when we have a command, so all the methods it will actually looks like there will be something actually within the bracket, and outside with a dot you will mention something. So let's talk about in detail. So let us take a simple example called get date. So you know what is the date, and we can actually put this into a bracket and put a dot here and put a tab. You can keep pressing tab, and or else you will be able to press the control space, control space, and you will get to know all the attributes what we can pass through. So here you can anything from this list you can mention, like an hour or day of the year and whatever the details, and the second tricks, whatever you can you can see here in the list. You can use anything from that. So let's see what exactly the day of week. So you can see that it is Saturday, and this date is actually falls on a Saturday, so that is what it says. So this is how actually you can use the methods. So always method will have two parts. One is actually the bracket, where we are talking about a particular one getting the date, and then after the dot you can convert this actually the result into whatever the information you would like to capture from this particular date. You can do so many things actually using this, and one of the other example is that we can count down the previous day or how many days actually from last two between 2 years. Let's say another example now, control space. We can take actually add years, so we can see here somewhere add years. So add, you can see it is listing only the add years. It is automatically taking, and it is again showing the bracket, open bracket, and you can say plus 7 or 10, let's say, and close bracket. So it is just calculating after 10 years from this date what is the date actually. So it is actually showing the July 31st and 2031, and time is also similarly it is actually calculating and giving that. So this way we can actually take minus 10, that means it will calculate actually from the current date to the last 10 years back. And there are multiple things we can do the same way, and so this is the use of method, and this is very much useful when you do any scripting. And so whenever we need actually to calculate something or maybe get result of something, we can use this actually, and which will be very much useful for the scripting mainly. So now let's take another example. I'm just opening services.msc here just to show you the result actually, and the easiest one, which is not harm anything actually, we can take the print spooler in this case. So we can see print spooler is a service, and we can open the the name, and you can see spooler is the name, service name, and we have the command. Let's say first we'll say get service and spooler. So this is actually resulting the status of the spooler service. And now what we can do is that put this particular command in a bracket, and use, we can say if you are doing the in another way, we need to actually get service spooler, and maybe we had to use stop service spooler to stop the service, right? So now let's say this one, and do a refresh here. You can see this is stopped, and you have to do it actually in two parts in separate command. So let's say start it. Yeah, so now this is started. The same thing what we can do here, get service, we can take it and put into the bracket so that it is a method. And what we can do, we can say stop and void. So this means that the bracket, the open and close bracket is nothing but it is not returning anything. So press enter. Let's say what is the result here. So this is stopped, and similarly you can do start. So hope you understood what exactly we are referring to the method, how can we use it. So in a single this is just an example, but in lot of scenario when we are doing the scripting, this is very much needed, and all these things are actually your base and base platform for an expert level scripting guy. So just keep all these things in mind and do enough practice actually to get expertise, and maybe you will have your own requirement, and keep that also in the mind, and then start actually working out on the examples, and you will get to know in little more, maybe in advanced level. Now let's take another example. I'll just close the service here, and now let's take an example. I'm just creating or just assigning my name to a variable. So just say name is equal to in quote I'll say Sunish space Kumar. So dollar name is my name. So what we can do now using method, and simple way, dollar name, and you can just say get hyphen member. So there are many things we can do using the particular name, whatever variable we created, and this is the member. And here all these things are actually, you can see the member type is method. So anything we can do using this particular method. And so let's try dollar name, okay, and dot control space control space. So here we can say let's take an example to split actually the name into two. So for splitting, actually we need to take nothing but the substring, because you need to actually mention how you need to do it. So you can see the example or the help also below. And substring is nothing but, now starting with from 0, the substring 0, 2, let's say. So this is nothing but let's print it first, and then you see the difference. So in this case, it is 0 is nothing but from the name from starting letter, so that is S in this case, and take 2 characters from there, so that means SU, and maybe you can take as 4 or 5, whatever. So you can see the difference here. So we can also read this information not only from the from the variable I just mentioned here. Instead, you can use it actually the get read the get content also for reading some text file, and from that you would like to filter something, you can use the same method. And in this case, now let's move to the next one. Dollar name and dot control space. There are many things available. Now let's split the name into 2. So let's use it split, and what you want to split, or how you would like to split. So let's say now Sunish space Kumar, that is a name, and I would like to split from the space. You can do from anywhere actually. So split, just put that whatever the value you would like to, from where you would like to split it, put it there, and put a space and close the bracket. So you can see the result. So it is splitting the word into 2 and putting into the 2 lines. So this is how this will work, and you can use anything actually the similar way. Hope you understood the scenario and how we can use it, the objects, and also the objects or attributes, and also the methods. So which is actually the as I mentioned, this is the base, and we need to do thorough practice actually to get adjusted with all the details. And so please practice, and also please comment if you have any questions or any improvement needed, and let's catch up in the next video. Until then bye bye.